about your pinstriping? I mean, you're a true artist. I've seen you live few times already. Exactly. One of the was the biggest one for me, and that was the Rockabilly show when you pinstriped this fantastic Buick. I mean, how you got into into pinstriping?
That goes a long ways back, Peter. Long ways back. So I would say, as a young teen, my dad always had a shop. Always had a body shop.
Yes.
And did everything from custom builds to collision repair. But with that said, these shops bring in people all the time to do pinstriping and lettering and maybe airbrush work and all that. So as a young person, I was very drawn to that. So anytime somebody would show up that was a hired outside contractor to come into the shop to do some of this work, I was just very much intrigued and spent most of my time just watching. And I guess the reality is maybe learning at the same time, but just really intrigued by that. So that's probably where things started for me.
All right.
And then started to pay attention.
How old you were back then?
I would say, when I say young teens, maybe 13 years old.
Nice.
Really.
All right.
Yeah, and then that just drew me to, back then, of course, no internet and that type of stuff, so magazines and looking at, now all of a sudden I'm not just looking at the cars, but I'm looking at the letter style, or I'm looking at the pinstriping, or how did they do that, and lucky for me, that was really around an era in time in the auto world where there was a lot of custom paint, there was a lot of this kind of mural work with airbrush stuff, so there was a lot of stuff to look at and kind of like just intrigue a young mind. So through that, as I started paying attention to those things myself, we had one fellow that came into the shop more regular, and he sort of became a friend of the family, is still a dear friend of mine to this day. And I was fortunate enough to sort of have him, in a roundabout, take me under his wing, / I spent a summer as much as I could with him. When you say apprentice, one of the things I've learned, or I believe, is that what somebody can teach you is they can teach you the right methods, the right materials, and maybe some do's and don'ts. But beyond that, you still got to put in the time.
Definitely.
So that's where the whole passion piece comes, right? So you're similar, right, in that you're an artist in a different realm.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting just the seed.
Yeah, putting the seed. And if you're passionate enough, you'll make it grow.
Yes.
If you're not, well, then it'll just be another thing
add
that's
your vision.
Correct, yeah. So I chuckle now. It's been a long time, really, since I started. And
long journey.
Yeah, long journey. But get to do some really great things now and experience some great people, some really cool cars, and even meeting up with folks like yourself.
Yeah.
That you're intrigued by what I do, but I'm also intrigued by what you do, so it's really fun to start to appreciate the arts and that type of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.